Good morning, everybody. M&C show is live. We've got an absolute fire show to give you guys today. Me and Crap are just talking behind the scenes. There's an amazing amount of topics. The chat's already on fire. I got in a little bit earlier, Crap. I kind of warmed up the audience. You got to, before you have a show, Crap, I don't know if you've ever been to any of these pre-screening like comedy shows out in Hollywood. I've been to a few. They have a comedian come out and kind of get the audience a little excited for the show. So I kind of went out
in Russia. Right? Yeah, right. Your little Yakov Smirnoff type deal.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. So I got them all riled up. Everybody's out there. Guys, tweet out that we are live. Let people know M&C is live Sunday morning, and we've got the subscribe button and that little bell. Apparently those two things do something. Hit them often and early. Crap, how the hell are you doing this morning?
Busy as always, man. I work on Sundays, so I was a little bit late. Apologize to the crowd and stuff, but hey, I'm sure they'd rather build up that anticipation a little bit, and so here we are, and we're here ready to have some fun, talk about some gaming stuff. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. Obviously, the Black Friday, sales through the roof. I'm hearing really good things about Xbox One X in particular. I'm hearing really good things about that PS4 Slim with the Spider-Man bundle. So a lot of just in gaming. If you're a fan of gaming in general, there is a lot to be happy about because we all need the industry to succeed, and it looks like it's succeeding incredibly well. So really happy about it. I'm seeing people pick up PSVR, Mooch.
Yeah, my timeline, I did see it. I saw
$199. What did I tell you? $199.
Yeah. Well, now wait a minute. It's a partial Mooch was right and partial Crap was right. You were right on the $199, but do you notice what's in there, Crap? I said this. You have to have the sticks. The sticks are in there now. That's a big deal.
Yeah, the funny thing is, though, the games that they're bundled with it, like Moss and them, don't use the sticks. They use the controller. I mean, I'm not sure if they can use the sticks, but they're platformers. So
right.
Using the controller is definitely something that you really need to kind of get the hold of. I'm happy. I like VR. Anybody that can get a chance. It's really cool because I've seen probably 10 or 15 people message me and go, what game should I get? You know what I mean? Because they know, like I like VR. I'm that kind of advocate for it. I have a good time with it. So it's kind of cool to see that be successful as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Xbox is doing well. Remember years ago when we did the jokes about the pallets, empty pallets and stuff? Obviously, Sony was onto something. You have Spider-Man, which is a huge deal. And then you have that PS4, which $199 again is that casual price point.
It is.
And I'm sure that Xbox sold well as well. Like the Xbox One X to me, the sales to that are more important because it shows that like the power thing is important to them.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's the point where I care about sales. Only if it's good enough to get you a sequel to the game or good enough to keep continuing on. Other than that, I'm not really in a piss and match with, oh, this one sold this many sold this many. Like it's fun to kind of talk about that a little bit, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to us. Like, am I going to have less fun playing Xbox because PlayStation sold more on Black Friday? No. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean.
Is it going to make me want to play PlayStation more or Switch more? No, it's not.
Well, you know what's interesting, I think, to the hardcore? Let me throw this little tidbit out there, Crap. I was doing a lot of researching and looking online, and I saw that what was trending, what was selling. And what I noticed from the hardcore, I noticed that like a lot of people in their homes right now may have a PS4 or may have an Xbox One, whether it's an S and X or Pro or a vanilla. That's irrelevant. But when you see these great prices out there, like some people actually have decided, you know what? I'm gonna for $199, whether it be the S or the Slim, I'll get another console and put it in a different room. Because don't forget, Crap, these are media devices as well. We don't talk about it, okay? But they are using it for Netflix. They're using it for, well, in the case of the S, they're using it for 4K Blu-rays, okay? And you can actually have them in other rooms in your home and game at the same time. More people, I know no one likes to hear this, so earmuffs to you physical folks out there, but more people are buying things digitally. It really is a convenience factor, Crap, to be playing in your living room, okay? Sure. And then you say, well, I'm going to call it an early night. You go up to bed, and you lay down, you go, you know what? I got about an hour left in me. I just wanted to kind of get cozy. Bang. All of a sudden, you continue your game in your room. It's fantastic. There's different things that have become accessible over the years with these consoles. So I think low prices, yes, they scoop up the casual market for the first console, but it also gets returning customers in the fact that a cheaper price may invoke you to buy one for another room.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I bought a lot of 4K Blu-rays because they're on sale for like $9.99. Normally these things are like $30 or whatever. Right. When you can get a 4K Blu-ray for $9.99, sometimes $7.99, depending on the movie. Right. So I bought a lot of those because you get, like I said, and I've been preaching this for a while. If you get the 4K Blu-ray, you get that, the regular Blu-ray, and a digital copy that you can watch on movies anywhere on your Xbox anyway. digitally.
Yes.
So you're basically covered all around, right? Whereas a digital copy of a movie by itself is $25. So, you kind of win-win. I also, you pick up, I did get one of those PS4 Slims as a gift for somebody as well. So, they did a really good thing. Microsoft has done a really, really good thing, with a lot of their bundles, but that Minecraft thing, you have to shake your head a bit at that, like,
yeah,
Minecraft.
Here's what I think, Crap. I think it's okay to put Minecraft in there. Here's where it's not okay. It's not okay because it's the second, third year where they're bundling Minecraft, and it's like, all right,
yeah,
we get it. You're doing well with Minecraft, but I feel like Minecraft is saturated. It doesn't mean it's not doing well. It doesn't mean that somebody can't, we can't have some of our great friends at the NPD Broadcasting Center come out and be like, well, look, 25 million units a month sold. That's why they're doing it. And it's like, all right, I get it. But
well, here's the thing: when they go
encouragement or enthusiasm, I don't see it.
People are like, well, there's 100 million people playing Minecraft every month or whatever the number is, right? I'm not sure. It's some incredibly high number, actually, like 60 million or something. But that's exactly the thing. Like, people that already have Minecraft already have it or like it. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
there's already people that have a way to to play Minecraft. You can play that on literally anything, a 3DS, a Vita, a PlayStation 3, a PC, a phone. You know what I mean? So I don't really see that as a reason to buy an Xbox One. So I get that they're like all into like this play, but why not make a kick-ass bundle with like a racing bundle, Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Motorsport 7, or, a Gears bundle with all the Gears games, or a Halo, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, at least put something out there that is a little bit more enticing than Minecraft, because first of all, if you look at Spider-Man, right, even on sale, that game was still $40.
Yep.
So that essentially makes that PS4 $160.
How do you beat that?
How do you beat that? You literally cannot beat it. I saw people like D-Batch picked up a couple of them, right?
Jez Corden from Windows Central picked up a PS4.
Yes, he was asking which one should he play, God of War and Last of Us, and I said, if you have trouble sleeping one night, play The Last of Us, and that'll be a great sleeping pill for it. I know, look, a lot of people give me crap for that, but I'm not the only one that thinks that game is boring.
Well, I told him I went out there and I tweeted out to him and I said, listen, Jeff,
God of War is a much better game.
God of War, I said, is what people are going to want you to say. It's more relevant right now. It's the hot subject. But I know the games that he likes to play. I think he would prefer, just knowing him and seeing the games that he tweets out. I'm not saying that I know him indefinitely, but I've talked to him enough. I think he would prefer The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I mean, you see what he plays. I think he likes more of that.
He could, yeah. Hey, Iceman, he's one of the ones that got PSVR as well. So we got Mel, we got Xbot. Hey, guys, tweet it out, like it, all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're going to be kicking it. It's going to be Eder says Last of Us, great story, boring game. And I've gone over this many times. A lot of people think it's just because it's not me trying to be outrageous or anything, right? Because
you genuinely don't care for it. That's fine.
It's like, if you look at the PlayStation games I like Uncharted a lot. I love God of War. In fact, God of War is right there, A1 and AB with Game of the Year for me with Red Dead 2, right? That's probably, that new God of War is like probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Detroit, one of the greatest stories I've ever played. I'm real high on that. I've played that multiple times. But then once you bring up that again, Until Dawn, I praised that game nonstop. The new Ratchet and Clank, praised that game. But the problem is, when you bring up something like you didn't love Spider-Man, or you don't think The Last of Us is the greatest thing since sliced bread, people go, well, you're a fanboy. It's like, you know what? Looking back on it, I don't like Recore. I don't, there's Xbox games I don't like too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, for me, it's just all opinion. It's just my silly opinion. I'm not a big Last of Us fan. I like that beginning does get you, right? Like, it, like
it
the
does.
beginning of that game, and you're like, oh, cool. But then the rest of the game is just like throw a bottle, throw a rock, and I've kind of mentioned that a lot of times. And then the shooting mechanics and the controls are wonky. And for me personally, that kind of ruins the game for me. It's like scrounge 3 bullets and there's like 4 enemies, and it takes multiple bullets to kill the enemies. So realistically, then you help the girl cross like the river. She climbs on that thing, you pull her across. Like, this is something that's really repetitive, like super repetitive. And for like a story-based games that you're playing solo, I have trouble with that.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from with that. I just myself personally, maybe it was the story that got me. I also like the post-apocalyptic thing, as you can tell, as we'll get into in one of our next subjects.
Yeah, because you like Fallout. You like Fallout a lot.
I like Fallout,
too,
and it's not necessarily. And it's funny because we had a good discussion on Crossfire Crap. You know, you were kind of relating it to another game, and I said the thing about it is this.
Thieves.
Yes, which I honest to God, I would need blinders and those old 1980s 3D glasses to figure out how you see that combination.
Oh, a lot of people do. Just basically two worlds that people like say are empty or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess. But the thing is, the one has like ongoing quests that change. Like, do you see if you look at any of the shots from myself or Jez has got a bunch out there as well? You look on the right hand side. There's like 50 quests to do. They're all different. Whereas Sea of Thieves was like, you know, again, and I'm not bashing it, crap, because Sea of Thieves is a different type of game. Sea of Thieves is the way we played it is how I feel like it was meant to be played. 4 guys getting together, 4 buddies getting together, hanging out. You get out there, you're having a couple of drinks at home, you're yucking it up because you're on that long boat ride, right? It is a beautiful thing, so there's eye candy everywhere. But realistically, when it came down to it, once we got off the boat, we got very little interaction. Like they planned to have people fighting us to take our treasure. And it was just like finding the clues off the map and then getting the treasure chest. And sometimes the treasure chest wouldn't stick on the boat. Sometimes it fell off the boat. And then bringing them back and getting credit or not credit, depending on if or not it was glitched.
The bad part about it is I actually want to go back to the game because I haven't got a chance to play any of the
I wouldn't mind going back.
And then like they announced that arena, which is more like what you're talking about, where it's like that almost forced. You got to force interaction with other people.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, like, see, I'm actually interested in that because that seems like it's going to be faster pace. It's like you want to go in and fight other pirates and be, you know, that seems like where it's more geared towards that. And I like that aspect as well. Like, they've been very quick to react, and I think that's pretty cool. There hasn't really been anything that's done like that before. So, you know, you can, and then you just seem like you're an apologist or whatever if you say it's not really bad. Like, it's just not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that, you know, like Fallout. I see a ton of people playing it and having a good time on it, and I also see a ton of hate for it. But so I don't know.
You got to look at where the hate's coming from, crap. And we've been doing this long enough now, okay? Like I said, literally, somebody yesterday was like, "Oh my God, I put on 2 left feet socks. I can't take it anymore. I hate Fallout 76 tweet." And I'm like, I've had it with all these people. Like, there's people tweeting that Fallout 76 sucks, but they don't even know what they're talking about. They're taking a short clip they've seen, and it's the same 2 clips. Yeah. It's the one that someone looks like they're walking through the Twilight Zone, and then it's one where like you know, like a zombie or a creature in the world is kind of fluttering out. And I'm like, dude, guys, there's more to it than this, and that's not really happening on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, and this is what I want to say, crap. I do have to clear the airways here. It's not I'm defending it. It has problems because I know it's going to happen, crap. I know it's going to happen. Let's fast forward to March, a Mooch and Crap episode in March. Well, Mooch, you defend Fallout 76, and you know, well, no. What I'm defending here is the unnecessary hate. There's unnecessary hate. There's people out there that are literally saying, "I didn't order onions on this burger. Fallout 76 sucks. Get rid of it." And I'm like, wait a minute. You're mad because you got the wrong order? Let's tweet out about Fallout 76. It's just not necessary. So I think the game needs help. I think we've seen a lot of games, crap. A lot of games come out in this predicament in the past 3 to 4 years. You said it yourself. Spider-Man, parts of Red Dead have had glitches, not nearly to the extent of Fallout.
Yeah, but open world games are notorious for glitches. Yeah.
You know, and shout out to Face 23 says, "Mooch, are you getting Darksiders 3? I know we can't talk about much of it, but I did get a review copy, so I will be doing something on that. Crap did as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, crap. Have you even gotten a chance to play it? I know you can't really discuss it, but I just want to say this much: it looks great. It looks better than I thought. Let's just put it that way. There's an embargo on it, so I can't say anything about it. But yeah, I'm doing the review. So yes, it looks way better than I thought. A few people on Twitter were saying that they're enjoying it so much right now they may go back and play the first 2. Crap.
Yeah, well, they're remastering the first 2. You know, that's one of those things where I don't think those games sold very well at first.
Right.
And then they remastered them and kind of grew interest and things like that. And so I think that's pretty cool the way, you know, you can probably grow a franchise like that, just even if it didn't have a lot of interest at the beginning.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely one of those games, you know, that kind of surprise some people, you know, and you know, so yeah, I'm actually looking forward to kind of talking about that when I'm allowed to.
Well, I'll pay the bills real quick. CA, I don't know who CA is, but he gave $5. I want to say thanks to him. And Sir X-Man with a 5 spot says, everyone should play what they like. Don't pay attention to what anyone says. If you like it, that is the most important thing. Now, Sir X-Man, that's a great point. But a lot of times those words, you know, if they're not put on a bumper sticker, they end up kind of going by the way of the dodo bird, because here's the problem. Everybody out there right now, we've gone from news-centric shows probably 10, 15 years ago, crap, to everything's opinionated, right? And everybody's kind of got their favorite person to listen to for an opinion. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that respect Crap's opinion on games, myself, even yourself, even you guys in the chat. You guys all hold a voice here too. All you guys, everyone that chimes in, you guys know that people are reading and saying, oh, like Iceman. Iceman's a hell of a gamer, if you guys don't know that in the chat. The man plays games. He knows what he's doing. He's very proficient at them. So when he gives a recommendation on a game,
and he gets very lucky at Gears. I'm just saying.
Well, you call it luck. I think he's got commas involved with that multiplayer. Yeah. But you know, nonetheless, right? These guys really put their effort into it. We love it. We love it. So I do agree with you, Sir X-Man. But at the same time, there are times where I think it's good for a YouTube channel or the gaming media to kind of pinpoint things out. And listen, guys, Fallout 76 went from $60 to $40.
Yeah.
All right. And it went that way because of the bad press. I was talking to Oh Snap It's Mel about it before the show in the chat. You know, and she goes, what do you think it was? I said, I think it's a combination of, yes, the game had some issues, but more realistically, Crap, I think the main problem was it literally got hate from everybody. I mean, there's a channel out there, I think, called I Don't Play Video Games, but I Hate Fallout 76.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's an interesting channel you got there. You know, I mean,
I agree. Well, you know what? Like I said, social media has been a little bit of a double-edged sword. You know, a lot of people haven't even played it and they're hating on it, or, you know, and that's also a parallel that I drew to Sea of Thieves, right? Like a lot of people didn't even give it a chance, right? They just jumped on what somebody else was saying. You're echoing what somebody else says, right?
And that's what it seems to be most of the time, right?
Yeah, like come up with your own thing and, you know, play it. If it's not your thing, then I get it. You know, like, look, Fallout's not really my thing, but I see a lot of people having fun with it. I have the game. I'm going to jump into it and play it. You know,
I saw you get on after work yesterday. I said, oh, maybe Crap will jump on, but you did not. But nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I was let me see, what was I? Oh, yeah, well, I wanted to get some Darksiders in, and then I think I was playing some Forza Horizon or something like that. I was, you know, just trying to catch up because I finally beat Red Dead 2. I completed both epilogues and all that kind of stuff, and so that took me forever, man. I put in like 80 hours and 210 gamer score, and
I played a couple hours of Fallout 76. I had an hour before going out last night, and I said, let me play some Red Dead. And you know what? Listen, guys, Crap, I enjoyed it. I did. I had a good time. But I've got to get a different – you guys, I'm speaking to the audience here, too, because I know Crap will get this. You got to kind of have a different mindset when you go from one game to another, don't you, Crap? I mean, you got to kind of let's be honest. Fallout 76 is me, 3 others out in the wasteland, a lot of communication, a lot of what's next, a lot of, hey, do you have this item? I'm trying to craft it. No, I have 3 of these, 4 of those. Oh, do you need those adhesives? No. Can I use them? I need to craft this. A lot of communication. Oh, my God, we're being attacked. What's going on? What is this thing? Are we building that? All right, you guys get the point. Now you switch off. And you go, now I'm going to play Red Dead. Well, let's be honest, guys. Red Dead, you could put like a long piece of grass in your mouth, get a tall glass of water, and just sit there with your 10-gallon hat, and you can kick your feet up on your coffee table and just relax. Because let me tell you something. I have gone from one village to another, okay, going from like Strawberry to Rhodes. And let me tell you something, friends. That's a hike on a horse. That is a hike on a horse. Because Crap, I'm telling you right now, I could have, if I was in high school, I could have done an entire week's homework session on that travel. It was unbelievable the amount of time it took to get from one spot to another. And you tell me if I'm wrong, Crap. I have the ability to fast travel. Well, but you can only fast travel from your headquarters in your bunker to the other town. When I went to the post office, you can use the train, which I did. But not all of these villages have train stations. They just have bounty payoffs.
Yeah, you've got to pay off the bounties before you can use the stagecoaches or whatever. So, yeah, it is a little bit tedious. Also, what does help is you can hold the select button, and it goes to cinematic mode, and it'll just follow the path that you have marked on your thing. So that's one way you can do it.
Oh,
as
it
well,
does?
where you
Okay,
just- yeah.
I've seen that, but whenever I press the select button, it puts it in the cinematic mode, but I can still run into a cliff or something.
You can if you, yeah, but I mean that is a problem. But for the most part, you should be able to get there. Okay, so it is, but and you're still not past like once you get into like the third chapter, I think like that game really starts to get really really good. I was kind of drawn in right away, but it did have some slow parts. But I'm definitely glad that
Well,
I
let
was
me ask
able.
you this, Crap. Did
Yeah.
you do any of the? I don't like to call them side quests, really, in Red Dead. But do you know the ones where it was like, go rob this or go do that? The ones you can do like on the side, and they're not the yellow circles; they're the white circles.
I didn't do hardly any of the white
Wow!
circles.
And it still took you 70 hours to just move
I
through the
did.
game.
Yeah, I did mostly all just the yellow one. If they were yellow, I went after them and did them. And that was it. Like there was a couple. Like if I was going down like riding and you saw one of the little pings where it's a little white dot, and then it'd be like some kind of element where like help me. I did a few of those because they were right in the way. And I had fun with those. A lot of times they like some woman would be like, help, and you get off your horse and then like she'd be like, it's a stick up, give me your money. You know what I mean? So,
yes, I've had those too.
Yeah, so it was like, or one guy, he was a hunter and he got his foot stuck in his own trap, and so I helped him.
Yep.
Then I robbed him, and then
I let him go, and he ended up giving me a free gun later on in town.
Yeah, like that happened to me when I helped somebody else. They ended up hooking me up with a free gun as well. So, it was really cool to see that happen. Like the living world is really unreal. I know you beat the first one, so I would say
yes.
you would especially love it. Yeah, you'll especially love it when you get to the epilogue.
Yes.
It was fantastic. Like I thought it was really, really cool. They did a great job closing that out. It makes me want to play the first one, right? But the problem
I'd like to see you try that, Crap. I think you'd really dig it.
Yeah, the problem is that one's 8 years ago. So, like, for those that don't know, I like the Star Wars prequels. Okay, growing up, the original trilogy always seemed real boring to me, right? So, and I never really even paid attention to them. When the first Star Wars I saw in the theater was Episode 1, and I was like, "Holy cow, this is awesome!" Right? It was just amazing, like especially for the time, the technology, kick-ass lightsaber battles. The only ones that I remember from the original ones was like these old guys holding them like they were, I don't know, going to explode or something, and barely move. You know what I mean? So yes. when you see like Darth Maul flipping around with a double-bladed lightsaber, you're like, holy crap, that's awesome. Yep. So my thought is if I go back and play the original Red Dead now after playing 2,
you think it'll ruin it?
Yeah, is it gonna be like when I went back? Because I can go back, like after I watched Episode 1, I got into the other ones and I watched them, but they weren't nearly as good to me, because they were older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I like the characters. I like the characters, and I heard that like Dutch and stuff is in the first, but maybe not the same Dutch that we got in this one, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And I'm trying to do another voice for you guys. I'm trying to work on my Dutch for a couple of recordings we got coming up. Shout out to Robert Olson, who doesn't leave a chat, but he's a huge Mooch maniac, apparently, always helping out the chat. Thank you so much, Robert.
JT says, do you ever play side missions? Occasionally, right? Look, I put 80 hours into that game. I loved every second of it, but I did not, like, there's so many other games that I want to play. You guys don't understand. Like, I've got Battlefield 5, which I haven't even loaded up yet. I've got
shout out to Sir X-Man for that, and I'll tell you right now, Crap, we really do need to try and get on that game.
Yeah, I've got Darksiders that I've got that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm taking care of that stuff.
Yeah.
I've got there's just so much to do, and it's just like, and I'm having fun doing it. So like for me, it's like, do I want to do this long side quest? Probably not. What I like to do in Red Dead 2 was I put on my mask, ride around, and then I just lasso someone and just pull them for a while. And they're like, yeah, and they're screaming and stuff. And then I'll stop and I'll hog time and put them in the bushes and then take off. You know what I mean? Like just doing like little stuff like that. To me, one time I was like, hey, I'll do a mission or two. So I just ended up doing that where I just like hog tie people and leave them in the bushes or whatever for a little bit and like run away. Like that was what was cool about that game though, was you could literally do pretty much whatever you wanted.
Right.
And, just kind of have fun with that, so I really enjoyed that. I thought they did a fantastic job with that game. Like they deserved the accolades and things like, not to mention I play Black Ops 4 almost every day, man. Me and Hellheimer boot that up and, and play it, and just I have a good time with that.
I've got to get my Ovaltine decoder ring out to be able to get into that damn chat with you guys, Crap. It's hard to get in there.
It is. I mean, we play. Yeah, like I think
New England clam chowder, and I'm like, is that the red or the white? And you're like, I always get this part wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's hard to get into that damn chat, Crap.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because on Thanksgiving, like some of my longtime buddies, Grave and everybody, we were all in a party chat. Me and Hellheimer were playing Black Ops 4, and they were playing that terrible free-to-play game Fortnite. So I was like, all right, well, I'll hop on it. And so I hop on it, and they're just like doing all this stuff, right? And like these call-outs and this stuff. And I'm just like, so I just hopped on an ATV and was just driving around. Like I have no idea. Like these people are good there. And it's like, and we won a round, and I mean, I didn't do anything. I was dead already.
How good is that Blackout though, Crap?
Well, Blackout is good. I'm
like loving the hell out of it.
Trouble getting my friends on it who like Fortnite. You know what I mean? And
listen, you don't have to ask me twice. I got news for you guys. I'm playing that game when I have about 25 minutes to just kind of goof around. I'll jump on and play a game of Blackout solo. It is, and usually I'll get hit up by Punk Kiddish or a couple of the guys that are out there that are playing the game. Real quick, Crap, I just want to pay the bills real quick. Jesse Darby says, I miss you guys. Jesse, we never left. And Jesse, I think what Jesse means is the show. Crap, we haven't really updated. We've got, guys, we've been saying this for about... I
think we actually have a producer.
Yes, we do.
So we're happy to say that. We might even be kicking off a show next week. I don't want to lock that in just yet because anything could change.
Right.
Sometime in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be having, a show more accustomed to what you guys are used to.
Yep.
We're working out some of the kinks and stuff like that. You guys get a little bit of a sneak peek with my avatar here. Slightly
we're
different
changing
direction.
everything. It'll be new background, new avatars, new banners, new everything, and new
Skype number to call in.
Yep, there'll be a new Skype number you guys will be calling in. Like I said, I like how Crap said that. We're going to kind of have like, in business, when businesses open, they have a soft opening. We're going to go ahead and have that soft opening, and so hopefully it's next Sunday. If it's not, it'll be the week after, but we're really aiming for this upcoming week to get some of the things back in place. So shout out to Jesse Darby, who's been with us since the beginning. Jesse, thanks for your support.
I will bring back some auto-tune by popular request. Wheel, it'll be there. The
wheel will be back.
Wheel will be back. All this stuff is going to be back. Look, we appreciate your guys' the Patreon support. It's needed. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
now more than ever, Crap, with
the whole thing took us by surprise. We didn't know, and it takes a while. Like when we decided to bring back M&C, it was a long process. I was brought in a week before.
Yeah, nobody really knows how long it took us to get it up and running. Everyone just remembers the last 20 shows.
But but Mooch and Jay at that time were for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks working on stuff, and then told me a week before, and because I would have spoiled it, right? Which I basically did anyway, because I was putting like Mooch clips in the end of my videos.
It's so great to have Crap. To be honest with you, it's fun to have Crap involved with all this because Crap, the fact that Crap can't hold anything for more than like 7 days, and then I could sense it. I knew before he was even going to tease the first logo out. I'm like, I know he's going to do something here, and then bang, there it is. Remember what I said to you in the pre-show?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're the patience of a 10-year-old, Crap.
Well, to be fair, I was testing out this particular one on this account, right? Because it's different than my main one. And for some reason, when people invite you to a hangout, it's always this one.
Correct.
So I wasn't, I just wanted to make sure it blended well and all that kind of stuff.
No, it looks great. It looks great. And we'll reveal everything in a week or two when we do launch it all. But the artist that we've selected is just an unbelievable talent. And we can't thank him enough for his services.
Over 300 watching. Hit that like button. Let's get over 100 likes, man. Come on, guys. Let's
come on, guys.
Get that going.
Easy like Sunday morning. I want to go back up in the chat here to Face. I like what he kind of says. He says, Mooch, is it me or does Microsoft get marketing deals for mediocre or controversial games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Battlefield 5, Fallout 76? You know what, Face? I kind of agree with you, but here's the thing. I think a lot of these deals all take place and happen years in advance, okay? Or at least 2 years in advance. So my point being is I think things are about to change. I think that, and I think it's funny because me and Crap were saying it a long time ago, and of course we won't get any credit for it. That's fine. But he said Phil needs to go out there. Remember when he said, I don't need to buy marketing rights? Nonsense. Because things like Destiny 2, things like Red Dead Redemption are what really boost sales for the PlayStation in times of need when they don't have a first-party game out there, okay? And Phil, I think, now finally goes, wait a minute. I don't know. Everyone likes to just shun Donnie D, but the Donnie D did a lot of things wrong, but he did marketing right, okay? It's probably the only thing he did right, but he did it right. And I think that Phil says, wait a minute, now that I got money to be able to do this, now I can go out that and do that. So, Face, what I want to say is let's keep a real close eye on 2019 going into 2020. I know what you're saying. I think we're going to see Microsoft start to grab some of these big third-party AAA marketing deals. Not necessarily, me and Crap have talked about it. I call them the B+ or A- deals. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But listen, there's also no hiding it, okay? It looks like for some reason, Tomb Raider has lost a bit of that, not polish in the game, just polish as far as like the household name of people being like, I got to play this game. It just seems like it has a little bit of residue on it, and I can't figure out why, to be honest with you, Crap.
Well, I love this new one. I thought
Great
it was
game.
Because you know what? It went back to almost to that, like the supernatural aspect a little bit. And, I don't want to spoil it, but I loved it. I just, I went from beating Spider-Man to beating that. And just like Spider-Man was not nearly as compelling as a story for me, Yeah. So I got to say, like, I love what they're doing with that Tomb Raider series. Like, that was the third one. It culminates. She's now the Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider, all that kind of stuff. And I thought they did a really good job with it. I think one of the main reasons it gets hate is because obviously the last one was an Xbox exclusive for a year. And then you have the fact that this one was really coming out around the same time as Spider-Man, and nobody wanted to see Spider-Man, have any kind of competition. So that could be a little bit of what we saw as well. So it's really hard to kind of, put as to why people don't like it, because the people that played it, for the most part, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. So I got to say they really enjoyed it. I haven't seen one person say, they didn't like that game. So. Yeah,
I totally agree. Shout out to Strex Man again. It says, Crap, you can't call yourself the Rhino anymore. You know what's great about YouTube and everything, Crap, is that there's just so many, we've had so many great things. It's Mooch, why the hell are you yelling so early on a Sunday? The albino rhino. Now we're back to, we can always take the show into a different angle. That's what's great about this show.
I was the albino rhino before I was a rhino. It was like, that was something Next Gen said.
Next Gen came up with that ages ago.
Yeah, basically was like a lot of the like if you guys ever see the BGST chat or anything like that, the insults fly left and right? Like people talk about me all the time. Just I have thick skin, you know what I mean? Like anybody that sees the comments I get or the, so that kind of came up, man. And Next Gen came up with that and it kind of stuck. So I kind of like that. And it's
a great one-liner.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was cool. And I used to do this long intro, right? And I remember Next Gen telling me, he goes, my grandma was listening to that one time. She's like, who's this asshole? Right? Because it was like the king of all game-related media, the master of disaster, the albino rhino, pony leg breaker extraordinaire. It just went on and on.
It was like part Stern and part WWE.
Well, you know what I liked, right? If you ever watched one of those Rocky movies, where I think it was Rocky 2 and Apollo Creed, or it might have been 4, has all these nicknames, and Master Disaster is one of them. This is the other one. And I just remember Rocky was like, man, that's a lot of names or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. I thought that was really funny. So, I just have fun with it, You
gotta have fun with it. We really enjoy
it. So that's what it's all about for me. It's not, I don't really take it like seriously or anything like that. So, but hey, It is kind of what it is, man. I'll always still be the albino rhino and all that other stuff too. So
it was Rocky 4. Shout out to James176. James also been with us for a very long time. Face comes back, says, Mooch, is Cyberpunk 2077 going to be marketed with Xbox? If so, that's a big deal and a win. I believe that is Xbox, and I do think that is a big deal. Although, and you guys are all, listen, there's a lot of hardcore people that listen to the show. But if you can just take yourselves out of the hardcore arena that you're in and just put yourself in the casual market for a second, I'm glad that Microsoft stepped up and put their big boy pants on and went and got a game like Cyberpunk. But my issue with it is that it's in the same category, if in all due respect, to Witcher 3. And Witcher 3 is a phenomenal game. But if you just were to go ask people that are getting into the gaming world and you're like, hey, guys, Spider-Man or Witcher 3? They're going to be like, Spider-Man. So now you say Cyberpunk, they're going to be like, God bless you. They don't even know what you're talking about. So again, great move for the hardcore. Great move for the gaming media to not bash Microsoft again. But does Cyberpunk do what Microsoft really wants it to do to get in some of the new or the casual? That I don't think so. I don't think so. And maybe they would sit me down at a conference room table and say, that wasn't our intent. That's fine. But they need to start getting things like, and I'm being very generic here, guys, okay? They need to get their Call of Duties back. Fallout 5, GTA 6, whatever. They need to get something where you go, when I say this game to somebody who doesn't game, they know what the game is.
When I say this, you say Xbox, right?
Exactly. I say this, you say Xbox. And that's what you need to do. So to go back to Face's question, Face, let me ask you. If you were just to walk up where you work or you go to school and you said to somebody, hey, Cyberpunk 2077, they'd probably be like, up yours. They think you're cursing at them, So my whole point is that I think you got to I think Microsoft still is missing the boat on this. They need a household third-party marketing deal that's massive. And Sony has had it all generation long with Destiny, right? With Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a great fail-safe. I don't care whether you're tired of it or not. You hate it or not. You never played it or not. I don't care. You know what it is. It's everywhere. It's a phenomenon. Yeah. And even with the greatness that is Fortnite, right, crap and all the other stuff, people still know this holiday that Call of Duty exists.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I really, crap, I got to tell you, man, really bummed me out when they let the Call of Duty marketing deal go.
Well, I think that came at about the time when all that Xbox hate came. So,
absolutely. Oh, my God, the dominoes fell so quickly.
Yep, and then like the money, that funding left super fast for Microsoft, and they weren't marketing anything. And then, Phil's like, well, I don't want to have any kind of thing marketed if it takes away something from another gamer. You know what I mean? So you sort of just kind of.
He's seen his, and that's what I meant, crap. Thank you for bringing that up. He did say that. I think he's seeing his ways now. I think he's seeing that he has to do something for his community.
They have to.
It's his job.
Duke Nukem says the CBS Game Awards, huge joke. I think that's those Game Awards where Fortnite won Game of the Year.
I didn't even know CBS had a version.
Yeah. And Fortnite won Game of the Year. Red Dead 2 wasn't even up in the running. So funny thing is Fortnite is still in beta. So I don't really see how they can win Game of the Year. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't know. What do you think, crap? We are going into we're going into that territory again. I believe, is it this upcoming Thursday is the Game Awards? Last week in November, but they could have changed it to first week in December. I don't remember, Kurt, personally. But I think that, again, I just wish that a couple things. Same thing with Xbox XO event inside Xbox. You need to shrink it down. Oh, December. Okay, it's first week in December. I think that it's important that they shrink this thing down. It shouldn't be 3.5 hours long. When you're trumping the Oscars, for crying out loud, I think you got a problem. Elementapino says, I'm going to do a Blaze Phoenix and say Microsoft should just buy all the marketing for all the games. Elementapino, nice memory back. Miss Blaze and Phoenix. Remember Blaze and Phoenix? Probably one of the best guys that could speak on. He would talk for an hour and a half, crap, on his YouTube channel. And I don't even think he took a sip of water. He was so good at it. He was so into what he was talking about. So, yeah, shout out to Blaze of Phoenix. That's such a long time ago. Flash from the past. Nice work, Elementapio. What do you think, crap? Are you excited about the Game Awards or you care less?
I'm excited. I just, this guy, Jeff Keighley talks a good game.
He does.
I'm not sure if they're going to actually, because he's like, we're going to put more focus on the games. And, because I remember, Forza Motorsport 7 won Racing Game of the Year, and they didn't even announce it. There was no stage presence or anything. It was just, by the way, this game won at the bottom of the screen or whatever. So I thought that was kind of weird, focus more on that. I don't care so much about esports stuff, and I don't think the mainstay care that much about that stuff either. You know what I mean? I just don't think they care. It's like they got all these different categories, and most of them nobody cares about. Most of them they announce at weird time. Like, what was it they do? They announce Indie Game of the Year, and they come up on stage, but the sports/racing Game of the Year can't go up on stage. I don't know. Just for me personally, I think that they're needed.
I like what you said. I like what you said about how he talks a good game. I kind of think he's like who's that great the comedian, not the comedian, but the magician there. What's his name? David Blaine. He's a trickless magician. He's like, and now my next big trick will be I won't eat for a month. And we're like, that's not a trick. That's just you're torturing yourself. And he's like, well, I'll be on TV
myself, right? And I'm hanging from this thing, and I'm in this clear bubble. And
I'm going to put myself in a capsule and submerge myself in a tank in a mall for 2 weeks. And I'm like, that's not a trick. And you know what I mean? So Jeff Keighley comes out and he's like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And as Face just said in the chat, it ends up just being a 3-hour Sony commercial, you know, with an hour dedication to Hideo Kojima, you know? Like, I mean, it's like it's every year he gets a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on. You know, Nemesis is like, why is Mooch yelling? It's because if we're going to give these Lifetime Achievement Awards or dedication for an hour, pick a new developer every year and bring that person out and celebrate that individual. Sony or Xbox or Nintendo. I don't care. Heck, go back to ColecoVision. Bring back some of the true roots, the old Sega days. You know, bring somebody out there that we might want to know about. Maybe somebody that we, you know, true gamers this generation don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into gaming back in the 80s and 90s. They don't know about it because it wasn't that cool. It wasn't hip. You know?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No, instead we're going to get another hour dedication to Kojima and in his photography lessons on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, I think it's funny. Like, we'll probably imagine if we get another Death Stranding like video that tells us nothing. You know what I mean? Like we've already had that. Nobody knows what this game is about. You know, at some point we've got to hear something about it, right? So,
well, I would think so. I mean, let me tell you something. If we find out Norman Reedus is showing up again, you're not getting an update.
Yeah.
You know, because he's there.
I mean,
if Norman's there, you're just going to get a couple, like, he's going to wave to everybody and be like, Walking Dead's really great. I'm now the star. See you guys later.
Actually, I like him better in Boondock Saints. Just saying.
You always have to turn that from Walking Dead into.
Have you ever watched Boondock Saints?
Of course I have.
Those movies are awesome. I love those movies.
They are great.
Amazing in those. Yeah. They're funny as hell, too. So
that's like saying Rick's character wasn't as good as when he was in Love Actually.
I've never even seen that movie,
I haven't either, but it's all over the internet. It's saying maybe he'll make a Love Actually 2 now that he's not Rick. Let's hope not.
I don't know. I hope not either, man, to be honest with you.
You know, I got to go back and listen to our MNC crap, but I did say, okay, I was on record saying that I don't think Rick is going to die. I think he's going to end up doing something else or a branch off show. I thought it was going to be a show where it ended up being a movie, so I wasn't 100% right. Yeah. But it's good to see that Rick is still alive somewhere. Maybe you should come back to the show, crap.
I don't know. Maybe
it's on Netflix.
I know. I've never really been into it's always a toss up when when you're a content creator, when you're a gamer. Like,
true. Good point.
What do? Do you watch something or do you game? You know, I'd rather game. For the most part, like I do like leave on the show at night or whatever. Right now, I've been watching this show called The Goldbergs. I had never seen it before. And it's about like this family in the 80s, which I find appealing because, you know, like so there's a lot of cultural stuff there that I pick up on, you know what I mean? And what's funny about that show is every show starts off, it's April something, 1980 something, right? Like that's what he said. So he never really nails down what year it is, but there's like He-Man, Voltron, all this like music from the 80s, movies from the 80s, Star Wars.
Is that still live? Is that still
yeah, it's still on, but on Hulu, like they have all the first 6 seasons on there. So I've been catching up. I watched that show at night.
So when you subscribe to Hulu, crap, does that get you this week's newest episodes also showing up?
Yeah, like that's what they do as well. So like the newer episodes of stuff as well. Plus, like I do, like, and I guess they're doing a big deal for this, where it's like 99 cents a month for a year. But Hulu Live TV, which is what when I stopped cable or whatever, you know, you pay a certain amount and then you can watch anything live as well from
you damn stations, warm climate, folks, and cutting the cord.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't
do it up here, crap.
You know what the funny thing is the fact that I've got so many different services though. You know what I mean? Like It's not even funny. If I were to, it's like, so I do Amazon Prime, which has Amazon Video. I do Hulu. I do Netflix. I do CBS. The reason why I do CBS is because they're not with Hulu. right? So even though you can watch some of the older stuff on CBS, the newer stuff you can't. So if you ever wanted to watch CBS, and that's like $5 a month or something.
Yeah.
But that's really important too, because sometimes when they black out, because I do NFL Sunday Ticket, sometimes they'll black out a game that I want to see and it's on CBS, so that then you can use that to stream on there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird, you know. And then I also have you know, like the Spotify. Like I literally probably have 20
every time I go to look at my friends list, I look at your thing and it's kind of cool because Scrap's got, you know, I mean, you game 90% of the time. I'm just saying, but it's cool because you have the Hulu. I see you on WWE Network. I see you on NFL, and I'm like, well, don't forget. See, I know this is crazy, folks. Okay, so a bit of sports, but real quick. I live in New York, and I actually like the New York Giants. Go figure that one out, right? Yeah. You can't get that anymore. Everybody in the world likes another state's team. I can't figure that out.
Yeah, well, see, because you get your teams, right?
So that's my point. Yes.
You know what teams I get locally? It's like I get Bucks games or Jaguars games.
Jaguars. Yeah, well, I don't blame you. I would immediately be buying the NFL Network.
Exactly. So I don't get it every year. I had high hope for them this year. I mean, they're in.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I dropped all my Baltimore guys. Crap. I got rid of Flacco, and I got Crabtree. I got on the bench.
Flacco's hurt, and then with the rookie quarterback who runs. Like, yeah, there's no sports. I know.
Sports.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, but man, can you really? That guy ran 27 times last week. Eventually, you know, you start taking a pop or two. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta. And I get it. It was his first start, so you do things slow. But it's just like with him playing, the running game picks up, but the receivers and stuff aren't doing much. So.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear just as like I said, I usually like to categorize and watch an AFC team, and I was really watching your team. Maybe it's because you talk about them a lot, so I was keeping an eye on them. And they came out the gate on fire.
They did, and you know what happened, man? They lost to the Saints, who are like probably the hottest team.
Oh my God! Can the Saints not score 50 points?
I know. Well, we actually had them beat. Like they were beating us. We came back, scored a touchdown within the last like couple seconds left in the game, and we missed the extra point. And lost the game, right? We were sent it to overtime, and after that, they fell apart. Yeah. And now Flacco hurt his hip, and he's not even playing. So you know,
it's not. Yeah, it's not who you thought they were. Crap, that's for sure.
So, I mean, they're if they're in a good spot. They're in the last playoff spot still right now.
Well, listen, I feel like we are personally responsible for Sir X-Man going into a sports coma. So we're gonna go ahead and pull back into gaming. Crap, look at it. I love those. That's a great emoji. Crap, listen, there's something that we didn't get a chance to talk about on Crossfire. And I've been tempted, and I don't know if Salty's still in the chat. Salty was here. Shout out to Salty Gaming. I got to tell you, Crap, Warframe recently came to Switch. Okay.
I hear that's a big deal, too. People are like, oh, that's
apparently it is.
Deal. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not, this is not a Mooch Bash section. It's more of a questionnaire segment of the show. I mean, here's the thing. I watched some live footage of it. I watched people playing it, and it looks good. But it's also going to look probably much better on my X.
Yeah.
But let's get back to how is it that we've gone in the same generation, not a different generation, but the same generation, a situation where the games we're playing on our PS4 Pros and our Xbox One X's is now appearing on the Switch in a much, 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 much lower resolution, and sometimes not having all of the extras and fancy, if you will, abilities that certain games can do on console on the Switch. And everybody, like the gaming media, loves it. They love it. There's not a discussion. There's not a pause in their sentence. Nothing. Like where and what the hell happened in the past 3 years, Crap, that we went from it's resolution or bust to I don't mind 720p and take some of the options out of the game as long as I can put it in my backpack and play on a rooftop.
You know what's funny is the fact that the Xbox One version of Warframe originally was 30 frames a second and the PS4 was 60, right?
Right.
So, and I also think the Xbox One was only 900p or something. So that was a big deal. The minute that became not a big deal was obviously when the Xbox One X was announced, you know, the Scorpio, you know, and that's kind of what's happened. I don't know if it's because people look at that as, hey, it's, you know, this is a portable thing. I know me and you, we don't even play the Switch portably, right?
No, like, almost never.
Yeah, like last night I was just kind of chilling in bed watching some TV and I was playing my 3DS, you know? So it's like, if I want something portable, I'll play it on that. For me, the 3DS is little bit more like the Switch is kind of cumbersome to hold and play the way people, do it portably.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not into that. So I use mine for the Nintendo games. Like I'm looking forward to, Smash Brothers. I know we got a hookup supposedly. Hopefully if I can mooch this game, I ascend to a new level of moochism.
Yes. Yes, you will. I'm over there right now, but I wouldn't mind some friends. So
yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's nice to mooch a game on Switch, but when there's nobody else over there, literally you're like, no, I swear to God, guys, the water's warm. Come on in. And everyone's like, nah, not really feeling it. All right, great.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm looking forward to being able to possibly to do that. I like those games. Like I have a surprisingly large amount of Switch games. A large of them. I think I have like 10. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's more than you have a commercial.
I'm not joking, crap, but I think Nintendo has a commercial out right now that says Nintendo has 1,000 games out. And you're like, I have a lot. I have 10.
Well, okay, they say they have 1,000 games out, but you know what those games are? They're like indie games and stuff, right? That's what they're talking
definitely
about.
Smaller titles, absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, like Golf Story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like Fortnite and Warframe, which hey, maybe I'll download that and check it out. I don't know.
It's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, it is. It's like Destiny, they say. I remember playing it on the Xbox One years and years ago because remember when the new consoles came out, I wasn't like, it took years for me to go, yeah, I like this generation, right? Because let's be honest, we were all excited to be playing that game Strider. Remember when Strider released? And we were like, yeah, Strider.
Strider, baby, because we didn't have any games.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything.
No one did. It was the most bare time of the generation.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I beat all the Xbox exclusives. You know what I mean? It's like, here's Strider. Great. You know what I mean?
Strider.
Like, when's a new character for Killer Instinct coming out? Oh, 2 months from now, huh? Great. So
people were doing reviews on Soda Drinker Pro, whether it was comical or not. They existed.
They did. So, like, I played that game, and I was like, hey, this is interesting. But I always had a problem with free-to-play games. Like, I never feel as invested in those as ones that I bought or, like, full-price games or whatever. You know what I mean? So, I just think that's just how I feel about it. Whereas, like, I know some people go, but you put a lot of hours into Killer Instinct, and that's free-to-play. That's kind of free-to-play, but I always bought it, so I had all the characters, right away. It's like, you could play it and there's a different character that rotates that you could be, but I always was just bought the game because I thought it was awesome, So.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting
Iceman says Strider was awesome.
Well, what I noticed was Sir X-Man says here, I don't know if it was a typo, Sir X-Man, but you said, hey, you notice how they don't compare the Xbox One X you put to PC anymore. It's just so funny how that just happened, right? I don't think they compare the Xbox One X to the PS4 Pro anymore. Yes. Now they're comparing the X to the PC game.
Okay, so there is that live action Lion King, right? And the Brazilians are good friends. Yes, our good friends at Xbox Mil Grau. I think that's how you say it. They're always fast on that stuff. So they put the trailer from the cartoon Lion King versus the trailer for the live action, and because the scenes are similar, where he's holding up Simba and stuff.
Yes.
And the live action one is Xbox One X, and the cartoon one is PS4 Pro, right? So that's hilarious. That got a lot of retweets and stuff like that. It was funny. IGN ran something similar, but they put PS4 Pro versus regular PS4. Like, come on.
Well, they've got to make Sony look good. This is what I'm saying. I don't understand why, especially, it's one thing when you say, imagine if this was the way it used to be, crap, where you say, oh, you know what? Xbox isn't doing well. Maybe the media is going to help Xbox a little bit here. And by doing that,
it'll help.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, okay, so the other day.
I don't think they're helping Xbox the way that they're helping Sony. And Sony's way in the lead.
But sometimes, like when we're talking and I don't have like any notes in front of me per se, like it's certainly tougher to just speak from the hip. When I do a video, I don't script that. It's all just off the top of my head. So sometimes and then later on I'll think, damn, I wish I would have said that. Right. Or that would have been more eloquent to say it like that. So I saw this article and it was called Xbox One wins the console war from second place. And that spoke to me.
Okay.
And I go and read it, and it's like, yeah, Xbox isn't going to beat Sony this year, in sales. But what they've done is appeal to grow. They're actively growing the gamer base, right? They're doing all these things that are pro consumer and pro gamer. And while that might not grow Xbox as a whole right now, it's really setting themselves up for the future. You know what I mean? So while Sony does have more sales right now, everything that Microsoft is doing, from Game Pass to backwards compatibility, all that stuff, Play Anywhere, is really setting themselves up to look good and to be in a better position for later on down the road. And that's where it's going to pay off, right? Like, a lot of people look at me when I'm strange when I go, well, Microsoft really has set themselves up well for later on down the road. And people go, oh, so we're excited about next gen because that's what they'll jump on, right? Well, it's closer than you think, and I do think that we're going to start seeing games. Here's the thing. I had heard that we might see some games at next E3 from Microsoft that are technically next gen, but because of the way they're doing things, they're just going to show them off. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we speculate about some of the PS4 games that we saw, like they might be PS5 games, right?
Right.
Like, why couldn't Microsoft do the same thing? I do think
they
we're going to
need to do the same thing. Crap.
I think we're going to see a couple of those that they're going to be like, here you go. Just sort of like, remember how we saw Watch Dogs and Star Wars 1313? We damn well knew that those were not Xbox 360 PS3 games, right? Right. But they didn't say that they're for next gen. So I think we're going to see something similar like that from Microsoft at this upcoming E3. And I also think that Microsoft is in a very good position because, like I said, if Sony indeed is pulling back on Last of Us 2 and some of these other games and going to make those cross-gen where you can buy them on PS4 or PS5, then I think Microsoft's best bet will be to go, okay, well, that's great, but you're going to have to buy their PS5 for $500 and those games for $60 a pop, or you can buy our console, which is more powerful, for $500 and play all of our games that we're launching for $9.99. Right. Like, that to me is a huge thing, and a huge advantage. And having all these different generations of Xbox being able to be played at, and you can take your controllers with you, like, I would never want to buy, like, I bought a new Elite controller. I mean, it didn't really cost me anything, thanks to Xbox rewards, but I bought an Elite controller this late night. I would have never spent $150 on it. I don't care if I had rewards points or not, Agreed.
Right. Well, Overdone in the chat, he says, I see the talk of next gen is already the hot topic within Xbox. I wonder what the purpose of the X had. But Overdone, you understand this is the evolution of what talking games is on YouTube. The minute the next generation is lurking around, it always becomes the hot topic on all podcasts, on all talk shows, and in all gaming media. The X actually set the mark, believe it or not. Because when people will remember this generation at the end, which is what people remember at the end of last generation, when Sony caught up and they had The Last of Us and everything was honky-dory. Okay, no one remembered the beginning. At the end here, you're going to remember Microsoft kind of getting their footing again, getting everything in place, being the true 4K leader, and then going into the 4K generation of next, being pretty much they look right now on paper to be the most ready and the most capable for next generation. Does that mean Sony can't do it? Absolutely not. Sony can definitely do it. But on paper right now, from what we're seeing and the way Microsoft talks, and even third-party companies that are working with Microsoft, you can see that the whole PC to Xbox and Xbox to PC thing, as much as that's ammunition.
You want to know what the purpose of the X was? To play a third party's games better. If you look at before the X was announced, every single day was something having to do with resolution or playing third party games better, or the best place to play. Like the PS4 Pro, they advertised the most powerful console ever on that thing up until the day Microsoft officially announced a date for the X. Right.
Right.
They love that moniker. They loved having that most powerful console. It's no longer a talking point, resolution. And that's what the X did. It gave people, gave validity to own an Xbox. It's back to being the hardcore thing. It might not be the most bought thing, but definitely people are starting to come around to it. It's never going to catch the PlayStation 4, and it's not intended to. What it is intended to do is give, like, the fans that wanted it. Look, Don Matrick screwed all of us, right? Yep. Donnie D, right? Like, we gotta be real. And it wasn't just him to blame. Look, even Phil was to blame. He even says, "Hey, I was at the meetings. I didn't stand up." It was
probably more the Terry was it Meyerson issue, even with Donnie D there. Because remember, Donnie didn't get to sit at the head table either. Crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it, right? It's like the Kinect came out and was hugely successful. I had one day one on the 360,
Right.
but I didn't realize that was costing, because at that time I wasn't all into it as much as I am now. Like I didn't like podcasts or anything like that. I wasn't, so I didn't realize that Don Matrick was canceling games, like core games, to do Kinect games. That's not good. And they put their focus of the next generation around Kinect. That's not good. Right. So realistically, Don Matrick really screwed Xbox and Microsoft.
Do you think, Crap? Let me just do a quick segue. It really goes into a similar category on the opposite side of the fence. Do you think that maybe Sony's doing what we'll call Connectitis with VR?
If that turns out to be true, where they're including the breakout box in the thing or whatever, and
does that mean the headset would come with the PS5?
I don't know if the headset would come with it.
I can't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. But maybe putting the breakout box inside is something that, because look, every PS4 already has a VR thing hooked up to it, right? Because if you think about it, that little light on the controller, that's for VR. That's the purpose of it. So, right. I mean, if you think about it realistically, it's that already sort of happens. So, it's definitely interesting to see. I don't know how to describe it.
Isn't it? It's kind of hard to describe VR right now because VR is not, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's really gaining a lot of ground. I know that items go down and down and down in price, and you see more people buy it. And they're like, "Look, Mooch is spiking." Well, not really when you're giving it away. So it's doing that, and the interest is mild. But at the same time, in defense of VR, it's kind of treading water lightly, meaning the sales are not going through the roof by no means. But at the same time, it's also not fading away. There's enough people on YouTube still doing it. They don't do it like I don't see a lot of dedicated channels to VR, but I see people doing. Markiplier, I think is one guy just comes. He's just a guy, a huge channel, and he'll do like one show a week or two shows a week that are VR. Because let's be honest, what he's doing though is he's playing the VR and he's got an exterior camera Crap. So you're watching him play on the Vibe. He's playing on the HTC Vibe. And what he's selling and what he's kind of showing isn't really the game. It's people watching him and how he's reacting while he's playing the game. You know what I'm trying to say?
There was some people like that with the Kinect too, where they do the third person thing, like, right? And then it'd be like the Kinect gamer and stuff like that, because there were some interesting games that I liked on the original Kinect as well. But at the end of the day, people always wanted to kind of go back to their controller, like their standard controller and stuff. And I can totally see why that is a thing. Like to me, that's always going to be the best way to play games. But once in a while, maybe you want to try something a little bit different. You got some friends over, whatever. Like I think that's where some of these things can be kind of fun. You want to scare the shit out of them in VR in Resident Evil. You know what I mean? Like watch people freak out like that. That's funny. When you play Kinect or whatever, I think that's kind of like cool as well. Cause there's like party games you could do. So I thought that was something that was pretty fun as well. So, I do think that VR is kind of coming around a little bit. And it's cool to see people actually get out there and buy some VR stuff as well. So
it just seems like it's still very niche Crap. And I mean, now there's talks of, and shout out to Iceman in the chat who actually turned it over to an Xbox question, but there's a lot of patents and there's a lot of people really feeling that the PS5 is really going to, their version of a DualShock 5 is going to have a touch screen, to get rid of the touchpad and have an actual touch screen. And I love the concept of it. But we all know that we're going to be running off that battery again. And now you're going to have a 2-hour battery life or an hour and a half just because you have a couple of push buttons. I think that's, again, more just between the push button rumors, Crap, or the push screen and the VR. It seems like PS5 is going with a lot of gimmicky stuff that you didn't see Sony do early this generation. They went just box in the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is because what is next generation going to bring? Is it going to bring 4K? We've already got that with the X.
Right.
So you got to bring something a little bit more revolutionary to the table, I think. So I think that's what you're going to need, right? Like everybody's like, look, we're already doing 4K already.
Yes,
right?
we are.
So you're not going to do 8K,
No,
so
8K is generations out.
Yeah, what is it, like 5% or 10% of people have a 4K? More and more people are adopting it, but you still have a long way to go with that.
I think when the next generation consoles come out, Crap, is when the 4K will be, maybe reach 50% in households, and that's right when they want to strike.
Yeah, exactly. So I could definitely see that kind of being a thing, and It's like right now I see a lot of people starting to pick up the 4K stuff. Like I'm seeing all kinds of stuff in my feed, 4K HDR TVs, $299,
Yes.
$399, decent stuff. I mean, it's not an OLED, but you can get.
It doesn't matter.
To start, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I have a 4K TV downstairs, and then I also have the OLED upstairs. Don't get me wrong. It's almost like looking at a freshly painted picture on an OLED. But when I go downstairs and I play on my 4K downstairs, that's not an OLED. Man, it still looks great. It looks great. So to be honest with you, sure. If I put, you put them next to each other, I would take the OLED. But let me tell you something. You're not missing much.
Let me tell you something.
Whenever
I hear that, that's what I always say. Let me tell you something.
Oh, it's so good. We need to get some more. I can't wait to meet with the producer. We need to get these things recorded. Guys, a lot of people in the chat are like, I can't wait. Crap. We are very excited. Next, we are probably a week or two away from being back to a lot of the things. Struxman said he's looking forward to call-ins. They'll be back ASAP as well, Crap.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's good, man. I'm excited to get the live call-ins.
Yes.
We might ditch the old the voicemail things because
I like your point, Crap.
Yeah, I for me, just the live stuff is really cool. Plus, we'd always end up, some of them are really old by the time we get them. If you call on a Monday, Yeah,
we've already discussed it on 2 shows and 5 days later on Twitter. Nobody really wants to hear that again. Like
exactly. So
Mooch
yeah,
Cap just calling in. Want to know what you guys think about Fallout? Any good?
Yeah.
Well, let's go over it. So
exactly.
I like the live calls because it's happening right now. So
exactly.
it'll be it's just and this show is about you guys. It's about the audience. It's about the gamers. You guys call in. You guys can kind of steer the ship, and I like that.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing skits, and we're going to be doing top 10s
Absolutely.
and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff's going to be there. We got some really good ideas. Hit that like button. Almost 400 watching. That's a pretty good crowd here, folks.
Great crowd. Oh, there's Face. Face, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Face, a big Sony fan. He says, when it comes to next-gen power, will not play a major role. Both consoles will be pretty much on par. I agree with that. With each other, and it's going to come down to a marketing, messaging, price, features, and most important, exclusive games. I think Face is on something, Crap. I think it's definitely games, but I like how he threw features in there.
Yeah, I mean, like the features thing is important, right? Like I think
it is.
Like I missed the whole Snap thing on Xbox, right? Like I thought that was pretty cool. And so what we're seeing now is where it's not as cool a thing like what we have on there. Like the features that we were sold with the original Xbox One idea aren't nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean? But to their credit, right? Because the launch of the Xbox One was exactly 5 years ago, like sometime this past week or something like that. Like I think 22nd, right? So if you think about it, they've changed so much within that amount of time, right? And actually they did most of the change within the first, before the thing even came out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it got announced in what was it, May? And then it was something totally different. And unbundled from Connect by the next May.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, what a 360. No pun intended.
Imagine if Sony and Nintendo listened that much. I think that like everybody would be better off. I think that like there's just some backwards things. If like look at Nintendo's online, that's just like some of the most backward stuff where you got to hook up your phone and that's horrible. The original Xbox Live was better than that.
Yeah.
So like Microsoft never gets their credit that they deserve. I think they get too much hate for the things that they have done wrong, and they never get enough credit for what they deserve and what they brought to gaming. So I'm interested to see what happens next gen. I still think PlayStation has the mind share, but I think that Microsoft is making strides to really come out of the gate swinging, and I think that's the whole idea.
Well, here's the thing. So breaking down Face's comment again, marketing. I still think, I hate to say it, I know Microsoft's going to put more money into it, but marketing just I don't know. Unless Microsoft hires people that work for Sony right now, they're still not going to do marketing the right way. The messaging, that depends a lot on what we see through the gaming media and how journalism takes the upcoming announcements for next generation and rolls with it. That's going to determine that messaging through hardcore gamers. Pricing is going to be a big factor. If Microsoft's smart, whatever they find out Sony's doing, you cut the price. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. $50. You know what I mean? I don't care. Throw in a scratch and sniff sticker in there.
That's why I think, like, here's the thing. That's why I think next year, like a lot of people would assume that maybe we get something for the next Xbox shown off at next E3, which isn't going to be the case at all. You know, they're not going to announce anything because they're going to let Sony do the first move, right? You don't want to give away what you're doing, you know. And I don't
think you're seeing Scarlet at E3.
You're 100% not seeing Scarlet at E3.
Absolutely not. I said that. I was talking. Shout out to Fonz, and a couple guys did some really cool polls yesterday on Twitter. And I said, no, I said, you're not going to see hardware, but I said it would behoove them. They definitely should show new IP, whether it be CGI, just a name with a cloud of smoke that goes over it. I don't give a shit. I'm not telling Phil what to do. I'm just hoping he listens and does some of this stuff. He needs to let people know why we have an X, why we're excited to go get a Scarlet, and why the Xbox brand is not just okay, but it's on the path forward, and it's excelling. We don't know. We see they've acquired things, and yes, they're great crap. I know. We talk about it weekly. It's a great thing. But realistically, if we don't know what they're making, like, you know, when you're driving by in your local town or village or your city, and it says new restaurant coming, right? In the window, it's all brown tape up, and it just says new restaurant coming soon. First thing you say is, well, what are you making in there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people go, I heard it's a hamburger joint. I heard it's a pizza place. I heard it's a coffee place. And you're like, well, what are they doing? Same thing here. Newly acquired studios. Great. You're filling that void. What are you making in there? We don't know.
I get that, but I also think there's a bit of an overreaction from some people that like act like those studios aren't doing anything, like they're playing tiddlywinks or something.
Well, they're not doing nothing. They're definitely making. We know, like again, same thing with the restaurant. We know they're making food in there, but we need to know what it is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get an idea of at least some of the things. I don't think we're gonna get 10 new announcements, but I do think we're gonna get at least a few new announcements. And so, I think that, I think that they're going to have to pay attention to what the fans want. And like I said, they're in a unique position where they can actually go out and go, hey, here's some stuff, because I think they're going to do forward compatibility. So it's going to be a little bit better than what a lot of people get. You know what I mean? They're going to show some stuff and people are going to be like, wow. And they're going to be like, this is going to be on Xbox One X, but it's probably going to also be on Scarlet too. You know what I mean? Like they could be sly like that as well. So I think that's going to be kind of the important thing to keep in mind when they're showing stuff off, So
shout out to Johnny Melamed. He says something about Tiddlywinks. He goes, they are making Xbox Play Anywhere Tiddlywinks. Crap. I know we've talked about it throughout the week, so I don't want it to be a long lasting subject, but I'm seeing a lot of videos from a lot of YouTubers that are, the big channels that are throwing out there the Sunset Overdrive on PC. And I'm still a little salty, to use one of the references. I'm a little upset about that. I thought with Play Anywhere, I saw this news coming. I could have swore me and you would have been able to boot it up and just see what was going on and see what, you know what I mean? And I'm a little down on that. Do you think that Microsoft come this E3 when we talk about features, are we going to see Play Anywhere stick around, or is this a never was and it's just going to dissipate?
I think we're going to see Play Anywhere stick around because I don't think they can pull back on. I don't think they can pull back on that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unfortunately, they would look bad if they did that because they're trying to, put that bridge out for people on Windows. Because if you didn't remember, they did games with Windows Live.
Yes.
They tried to charge people like Xbox Live. And from that point on, PC gamers hate Xbox or hate Microsoft, right? So they're trying their best to lure people back, which is why they're going to get Game Pass. That's probably what part of this was. Just for me personally, I think that it's kind of a slap in the face. Yeah, because we've been asking for it. We've been asking for a sequel. The studio, Insomniac's like, well, yeah, we can enhance it, blah, blah, blah. And then Microsoft pays a studio to enhance it for PC and also publishes it on PC. So you do have to wonder, like, what's the deal there? Because their priority should be Xbox, in my opinion. And then also they're not tone deaf, so they know people wanted exclusive announcements. And so we've had a lack of exclusives for 18 months and game delays and half-finished games. And what do? They announced multiple PC exclusives in that time. So that is, to me, is a little bit of a problem,
Yeah, no, I agree. What do you think, Crap? I do expect E3 to be a huge stage for Gears 5.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to show off Gears 5. They're going to show off, maybe some Halo. They're going to show off probably a couple new things. I would expect definitely. I would expect them to show off at least a couple of new things. Possibly, I'm almost certain we're going to see one of Ninja Theory's projects. Right, almost 100% certain.
I hope
Now,
so, but I'll be honest with you.
yeah.
I think we're downplaying the Gears 5 thing because Gears 5 is one of their staples. Okay, it's one of their billion-dollar franchises. Crap.
For sure.
So what about the we talked about it on Crossfire? You don't seem upset. You seem lukewarm on the idea of Gears 5 having drastic changes.
I don't think it's going to be drastic change. I think.
What were the words he used? Crap. Usually you're really good at.
What did he say? He said there's going to be. Let me see. I'll have to find it in a second.
No,
but
take a look for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did make way to say that it was going to be something quite substantial. It wasn't. The words he used, Crap, weren't. Well, we're going to change the color palette a little. He didn't say that. Shout out to Sir X-Man. He says, with all the updates on the consoles over the past 5 years, whose dashboard is better, PS4 or the Xbox now? Man, Sir X-Man, I don't know if you're going to like my answer on this. Listen, I've come out and said that I've never been a huge fan of the PlayStation 4's UI. To me, it seems quite simplistic. It's just literally it's a single line.
It's the same UI as the PS3 with just some pictures in
right
there,
with pictures and a scroll up and a scroll down. However, it's pretty damn buttery smooth. And when it comes down to it, I like familiarity. I mean, if you guys know me well enough by now, you guys know I'm an Apple fan. I like iPhone. iPhone hasn't changed their damn UI. Like they've made it look, I guess, better. They've made it more crisper, but realistically, it's the same one from day one. And I'm okay with that because when I pick up the phone, I need to use this thing. And we don't all play with the UI. Nobody's like, hey, what are you playing tonight, guys? Battlefield 5, Fallout 76? No. Xbox new killer UI's out. You guys got to download it. No, We're not doing that. So with Xbox, even though they have finally chilled out, and it's the same one. Crap, yesterday I went to turn on my Xbox, and I went over to the mixer segment, and all the boxes were they were outlined, but there was no content in the middle of it, right? So I had to sit there and wait, right? I know you might have had this happen. A couple people on Twitter have posted it, and it happens to me every once in a blue moon, and I got to sit there and wait like 5 minutes for everything to load up. Like, it takes forever, and it's not a me problem. Because the front, my home dash was lit up like the 4th of July. The advertisements are there, my last 4 games, my friends, my pins, everything was there. The minute I went over to tabbed over, gone. And I'm like, what the hell? So, and I'm just trying to say, getting back to Sir X-Man's comment, I personally would rather Xbox have a clean, unified UI. Stick with it. Stick with it. You don't need to keep changing this thing. What do you think, Crap? What's your take on the two? You've played enough games on both.
I like the evolution that they did with the 360, where they changed it for the better each time.
Yes.
When they first did the next update, it was so much better.
Absolutely.
So I really like that. I've liked the direction that they're taking the Xbox One, but you would just figure that it would be a little bit smoother. Like, I'll still go to launch something, and it'll be like, something went wrong. It took too long.
And they make a little joke out of it. Something went wrong. ... Ha, ha, ha. No, it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's the end of the generation.
So yeah, like, that is a bit of a problem that they've struggled. I mean, it's Microsoft, and they're struggling with a UI. So that is a little bit weird to me. And some of that probably has to do with some of the original stuff that they were doing or whatever.
Right.
But Sony's just works well for what it is, bare bones or whatever. I don't spend that much time on there.
Well, the thing is, though, you know what, Crap, and I know that you meant it in a different light, but let me just say this much. We don't spend that much time on the UI.
Yeah.
And that's why all this nonsense with Xbox changing it so much, nobody gives a shit. Look at shout out to Antonio, Alicia in the chat. He says, Switch UI is cool. Switch is the most bare bones UI I've ever seen. And guess what? It works. Who cares?
Yeah.
I swear to God, it is literally like walking into a mall on Xbox. And I use Xbox every day, so for me, I got to be honest with you, to navigate around is quite simple. But Crap, I wonder if we were just to take an Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro, and you had 2 different rooms, and how people do like all these kinds of like studies and stuff, and you have people who don't play video games pull it out and say, okay, do me a favor. I want you to go to the store and buy Grand Theft Auto 5. And see which one can find it first in their store and navigate through, make the purchase, and download it. The person who does that first would win, and we would do like a bunch of them. Xbox, I guarantee you, people would literally throw the controller in the air and be like, "How do I get out of this box? Let me out of this survey. I can't do it anymore. I break down." I think that people they need to get a new user base. They have so many people on Twitter. They have all of us that care so much. Guys, if you're listening, we'll take a trip out to Redmond. We can help you. Right? Mooch and Crap in Redmond? My God, that would get great reviews.
It would. People would love it.
I would.
They'd be like, why is Mooch yelling?
Because he's on an airplane.
Yes.
Can't be heard that high up.
And what they said with Gears 5 is going to give something players they've never seen before.
Right.
He says with Gears 4, we were a new studio bringing Gears of War back. We felt like we had to prove ourselves that we could do an authentic Gears experience. Rod Ferguson says that. He says, so we didn't want to go crazy because then it'd be like, these guys don't know what they're doing. What's going on? What happened to our franchise? This isn't the Gears of War I wanted. What we wanted to do for 4 was just reestablish the franchise and establish the Coalition as a legitimate studio. And we've been embraced by fans, and they love Gears 4, and we feel like we've accomplished that goal. So now Gears 5 is about bringing the Coalition's personality to the game. Now we're going to see some innovation, some change, a bunch of things that are really exciting, that are really different, but still feel very Gears of War. He talked about how the main aim with Gears 5 has been to improve an experience that exhibits dramatic contrast from anything and everything we've seen from the series in the past.
Right.
Dramatic contrast was the word he was using, going from very small cramped spaces to larger open spaces, going from the desert to the frozen tundra. We wanted you to have throughout your experience constant contrast and dramatic change. So yeah, that's basically what they're talking about. So before, they're trying to make it like a bigger story. Like before, like, when the thing is like when you're doing like wars or whatever, and it's just like 4 versus like, here comes 5 enemies. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're trying to make that a little bit bigger and better. You know what I mean? They're also Kate. It's going to be Kate. It's her story now. So they kind of, I guess, evolved that or whatever. Yeah, I mean, very interesting to kind of see that. But because it's funny, like the stuff that we've seen, obviously, from the little videos that we saw, it looks very Gears-ish. I mean, so I think that, they're going to be probably bigger worlds. Obviously, that skiff is something new, and then also the new characters and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool as well. So,
right.
I mean, it sounds good. The thing is, they can't change it too much.
No, not the game itself or the characters, the design, but to have them be able to venture off on some side quests wouldn't be bad. Crap. Steep Tech says, Mooch, why did the lead of Gears leave? I didn't know anyone left. That was a major.
Rod Ferguson is the lead of Gears.
Yeah, Rod Ferguson's there, and Rod Ferguson is probably going to retire as the leader of the Coalition. I don't see him leaving. I don't know who they're talking about. I didn't see anybody.
If he's talking about Cliffy B.
Cliffy B left Gears, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I don't know. I can't help you on that one, buddy. But listen, don't get me wrong. Shout out to the Don. There are transactions and movement throughout the gaming industry all the time. Yeah. I don't think necessarily as big as like what the initiative's doing, but I think that people come and go. I mean, that happens at all of our jobs. Yeah. You have a competing pizza place open up against another one across the street, and maybe you steal a counter guy. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everybody's kind of excited about what can happen. Like I'm excited to see where they take it. I hope that it's a good place. Right. A lot of people were saying they wanted a little bit of change and stuff. For me, it's like it's difficult because it's my favorite franchise. So I like change, but I don't want Gears Judgment type of change, right?
Right.
Like,
no,
I thought that was
different.
Bad.
Crap. That's different. That was a different developer, right? That was different people.
Well, I mean, no. Well, Epic still did part of it, and then also
not a lot of
people can fly did it as well. So I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't necessarily the core group, is my point.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole idea was to do something drastically different, and they did it.
I didn't think it was that drastic. I just thought it just felt like it was lacking substance. That's all it felt like.
It was. I could give you lots of reasons why it was drastic, because there were no pickups anymore, right? Once you were down, that was it. You were dead. There was no, you know what I'm saying?
And you could tell, but that's not the changes that Rod's talking about, or this memo.
That's what I'm hoping for. Like grenades would stick you couldn't plant the grenades, right? But if you threw grenades at people, they would stick to people. You could only carry one weapon. not you couldn't carry a Lancer and a shotgun. You can only carry one, and then you didn't use the D-pad to switch between them.
Those were awful changes, and I don't think that those are not the changes that are revolutionary when you're trying to change a series. That's not what Rod's talking about at all in the least.
Yeah, I hope not, man. I hope that they just do some nice things that bring some change to it. But you don't need a God of War style change where you completely change everything, right? Because you just don't, because it's a multiplayer game. You know?
God of War took it from this over-the-top looking type of game to what we know it is today, okay? Gears is already there, crap. They don't need to change anything. What's Gears going to go over the top? No. So, I mean, my point is just that all I'm saying is have it, like, be able to open up and expand the Gears universe, which is just better for Gears fans. Face 23 says here, Xbox having E3 to itself is a double-edged sword. It can be great or it can go left. Face, I agree 100% with that. 100%. I said that on Crossfire. Like, I love that they have the show to themselves, but I'll be honest with you, I don't love it. First of all, I don't love it as a fan of gaming. I really liked having Sony there at E3. I don't like it. The other thing is Microsoft is completely and utterly under the microscope. Shout out to Showstopper who popped in for a minute. It's awesome. Xbox don't have a console UI. They have a PC UI. It's universal. That's true, Show. But yeah, I do have, I don't know, crap. What do you think? I think that it can be a double-edged sword here. It's not necessarily all roses and butterflies here. This could really go south for Microsoft if maybe they don't hit a home run.
Well, there's always going to be somebody.
Yes.
You know, or that contingent of people that are going to be unhappy. And
absolutely.
Either way.
Right? Yeah, that would happen regardless. It doesn't matter what they did. If they showed like Phil walking on water, it wouldn't matter. I'm just saying. Yeah,
there's always going to be that. So we have to keep that in mind. Like, look, they did a nice little thing with XO. I thought it was fine. But you're always, and Sony did nothing, right? Nothing. They did. I would rather have something than nothing. So
absolutely,
you know, for me, Xbox, they go out there, they talk about some stuff. That's to me, that's fine. You know, show a couple new things. They don't got to go crazy and show 10 new things. Show 2 or 3.
2 or 3 are fine.
Yeah, show 2 or 3. I think it'll be fine. You know, show off. Look. There's not going to be really any other place to see the third-party stuff either. So we're all going to want to see the third-party stuff too, you know?
Let's hope they got the big names though, crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if they're going to have stuff like Cyberpunk, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing.
Crap is large. His avatar is slimmed down. That's all. Avatars. I mean, it looks like me. I'm probably got to buy 100 pounds though. So yeah.
That's great, crap.
What's up, Matty Beast?
What's Beast
going on, man? Yeah, nice to see you here from Germany, man. Don't go chasing waterfalls, bro.
Yeah, don't do that. Maddie, good to have you here. Totally appreciate it. Thoughts and prayers and everything go out to you too, buddy. You guys are doing great out there. You're a huge supporter of the show, and we thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know, crap. I do think that's a good sticking talking point. I hope to God that they have a good setup. I kind of cringed a little bit when you said, you know, they don't got to do anything big. It doesn't have to be this, doesn't have to be that. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. But
I do want to say this much, crap. We said the same thing with XO. The XO doesn't have to be this, doesn't have to be that. Guess what? It wasn't. So I don't want to completely take the foot off the gas pedal, because if you say that and they do that, man, E3 still is the greatest show on earth, right? For gaming.
Yeah.
So we got to, I do want them to push the envelope slightly. No, they don't have to show 10.
They got to definitely show like 3 or 3, you know, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know, close it out with something, have a nice mix of the multi-plat that are going to run better on the action. You know, you show your Cyberpunk, whatever else is going to, I don't even know what the hell is coming out next year. So, yeah, you know, like you've got to do that, you know, show all that stuff, show some exclusive, show whatever they're going to do. You know, they've got to be there in a big way. Maybe mention, you know, their plan without mentioning Scarlet per se, just be like, well, in the future it's this, and maybe you'll be able to play, you know, the new stuff that we're announcing on your X, even, you know, like stuff like that. So I think that, you know, they've got to keep it fresh. They got to surprise some people. I think they will, but I think they're also going to hold some stuff back, because you don't want to like show your whole hand. And at the same time, do people really want them to show their whole hand from what's out 4 years from now? Then you end up like Sony, where you can't even do a show at all. Right? Like Sony did so much of that, where like basically, and even though they did E3 the past couple of years, were they really worth doing? Because literally 2 of those were the same exact thing with the same exact games, remember? And they were less than an hour long.
Right.
So
And
they
had to
blew
do
their
all
load.
that nonsense with, they had to do all that nonsense with the orchestra and then the flute player and the
Yeah.
banjo and moving people in and out
Antonio
of
Alicia says, "XO Julia Hardy." She would think you're a misogynist for saying that. Just
yes,
say
you can't say that.
yes. So
You can't. I like that, right? You can't say that.
yes, you can't say that. You would be a misogynist, and
Yes.
that's wrong. That's very, very bad.
Yes, don't. She gets upset if you follow her on Twitter. No, I'm only kidding. So X-Man says, thanks to Mooch and Crap for listening to us and chat. We love you. X-Man, awesome. Like, you guys are the show. We love it. Captain Crunch says Borderlands 3. Let me tell you something, Captain.
That's
there may
be
be something to that crap, right? I mean, I'll tell you this much. I'm probably going to grab Borderlands 2, the VR, just because, listen, am I excited that it's $40 or whatever? Not really. Maybe I'll wait for it to go on sale. Maybe it may not be a day one thing, but I think because you see Gearbox and all these guys coming out and saying this, I think they're just trying to get that Borderlands hype back ramped up. Crap. Is there a chance Borderlands 3 makes an appearance?
It could be, like, it's supposedly in the works. So
I'm just a huge fan of Borderlands. I really, really am.
I was actually looking forward to Borderlands VR until they said it's single player only.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of makes sense because think about it, Crap. Again, this is the problem with VR. You're not walking. You know, you're shifting. You know what I mean?
Well,
you're
it depends. You can do the half step. You can adjust that. Like some of those games let you adjust that pretty well. Just it kind of depends on the game.
Kind of like you're doing the electric slide.
Yeah, I mean, like some of them adjust that. Like there's been updates, I think, like on Skyrim VR and some of those other games.
Well, like I got really excited to play Doom VR, but the whole warping thing, man, that took me out of it.
Well, that's sort of like with Connect, you know, a lot of that stuff was on rails for the actual walking parts or whatever. So it really just kind of depends.
Yeah, it depends. Like I said, here's my thing. I think I like, AKA love the Borderlands world so much, Crap, that I can get past that in the world of Borderlands. But, you know, with other games where that's why I had a little bit of a hard time where you really enjoyed
Tales from the Borderland?
No. The one that you like with the gun for VR, the one that I think was like Super Troopers, not Super Troopers, but Space, whatever it is there. I can't remember. You shoot the gun, you shoot the big spiders all over the place. Farpoint.
Yeah, that's a really good game.
But that's another warping one.
Too.
Well, you know what I wanted? I want the gun.
Yeah.
Is the gun on sale?
I don't know. Like the game's only like $12 or $14 right now. So
yeah, but you need the gun.
Yeah, I mean it does make it better because when you look at it in VR, like it's really cool to see that gun. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool. Like,
yeah,
I thought that was pretty freaking cool. You know, I love that.
Element of PO says 3 steps forward VR. I don't know if he means.
It depends. They do. You can adjust a lot of those to do half steps, so it's not as much.
Okay, you can adjust your steps.
Yeah, you can adjust it to like do the half steps and stuff like that. So, I mean, they do that sometimes because you got to remember, like when you're playing VR, they really don't recommend you play that for hours on end.
No.
So, yeah, you know, so realistically, you don't want to be spending your whole time in VR walking around. You know, just
no. I agree. It'll be interesting to see what next generation brings with VR. I know Sony's going in head first. You know, Crap, this is something that we didn't talk about. But it's an interesting subject. It consistently gets big news from the gaming media is the loot boxes. And there's a recent thing again that came up about loot boxes being associated with gambling and kids are gambling. And because, they have every game kind of has packs, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Get some packs.
Yeah. Get some packs. Yeah. Right. Gears does it. Fallout does it. Everybody does it.
Call of Duty does it.
Call of Duty. Right. So I don't know. Maybe it's because when this all became a thing over the past whatever decade, it slowly, gradually creeped into all of our games. I don't have a problem with it because I personally ignore them. To me, it never was. I see them. They're like you saw Gears of War 4, right? Gears. Yeah. They're like, hey, $100 for pack here. $100 for Mooch. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay $100 for the game. What do I care if I got James walking around in a cape?
Yeah, like if people didn't buy them, they wouldn't put them in there.
Well, listen, but let me say this much though, Crap. I'm okay with them in there because guess what? Those people that are buying those are subsidizing the game for $60 for me and you.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have to buy them.
No,
That's
you
the thing,
don't.
right? Like, I don't buy any. Like, though, I bought one thing in Gears one time because it was a specific
And that's
thing
fine.
that I
That's your
wanted.
prerogative.
Yeah, it was like that was the only time, and it's like as long as it's not pay to get a better gun or like how Star
Right.
Wars Battlefront 2 did it.
Then I'm anti that.
Yeah, which was like, okay,
That's bull.
you can pay and have better stuff than other people, right? That to me was like the wrong way to go about it. So, yeah, like for me personally, I'm okay with them because I don't really use them. And I play like I'm not even sure how the black market works in Black Ops 4, but I just know that I play it and then it's like you've unlocked this or you've unlocked that. I don't really keep track.
I don't either.
Just I put it in time and it unlocks. That's basically what it is. Somebody wants to know what your game of the year is.
Oh, well, hey, listen. So Raw, let me answer your question. Raw Biz says, what's the game of the year? Crap earmuffs. I gotta be honest with you. I think right now I'm leaning towards God of War. By the way, it's like a 1A, 1B. There's really not a 2 here. I mean, Red Dead Redemption, I sat there yesterday because I've been listening to Crap for the past week, and he's like, Mooch, you're going to love this. You got to get past the third chapter. And he's right. So it's not that I can't. I want to just say it's open for interpretation. I know we're going to have a game of the year show. We always do, Crap.
Yeah.
It could change. But right now, for me to say, like, when you get home from work, you're like, I can't wait to get back into a game and get immersed into it.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, I had such an excitement to get back into God of War every night, and I'm just missing that excitement with Red Dead. It's just missing.
Once you get to a part,
right, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'll change my mind.
I want to see what happens.
Yep.
For me, God of War, I loved it. But still, I think that Red Dead 2 is hands down the biggest masterpiece I think I might have ever played. But
and I think you said it, Crap. It's hard to argue with either.
Yeah, like for me personally, like I said, and I loved God of War. It's just like God of War, they both dragged at different parts, right? Like God of War was really in your face right at the start, but then towards the end, right before you hit that end, it's like you got to go back and do something, and you're like, I got to go back again, right? They made you do those like go back and forth type of thing.
Yeah.
Right. I started to get a little bit tired with that, right?
Yeah.
I was like, and then it just abruptly like there's the ending and hits you right in the face, right?
Right.
With Red Dead, they kind of start you slow. And then they're like, boom, 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 and then it doesn't let up for the rest of the game. So.
No, I like the way you kind of said that. And it is true. I don't really like that whole back and forth stuff. But yeah, I think the very slow nature that Red Dead started with, and then as it progresses, and is what's, I got to get to that part. So it's not fair for me to really answer. That's why I said it's still November. I know we usually talk about that come middle of December, end of December. It may change, but as of right now, God of War was just something that I've even contemplated going back and finishing a lot of the side quests that I didn't do. I'm not going to platinum it by no means, but there was a lot of side quests. I did all the main side quests because there's main side quests. I did those, but there's a lot of the ones that are like the little ones that are like on the outskirts of the map that I missed a few. I might go back and do that just because I missed the gameplay. There was something about that axe, Crap. I don't know. Yeah. I think they should make a Thor game, because I would buy that and probably a Heartbeat if they even mimicked that mechanic. There's something about it. It just felt right. But Sir X-Man says his game of the year, Crap, is Tomb Raider.
I can understand that. It's not even in the running on the Game Awards. I thought it should be.
Absolutely, it should be.
Pull out Celeste or Monster Hunter and stick that.
Celeste. I know. When you say that, I still wonder what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like I don't get that at all whatsoever. So.
That was a head scratcher for sure. Crap. We are approaching the 1 o'clock time frame. The Giants are on, and the Giants. Iceman, we're going straight through. We're not going to lose the rest of the year. So Giants are going to be 9-7.
We got the Raiders.
Oh yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, plus we're playing them early in Baltimore, so that hopefully they're a bad team, but hopefully they play even worse.
Right. Well, the Giants are going for a 3-game winning streak today. So, hey, guys.
Oh, look out, because you got the dumpster fire that is the Redskins. And then
and the Cowboys are completely and utterly, I think, just not that good.
You got to be loving the Eagles. Here's the thing. I'm not an Eagles fan. I was just happy they did their job, beat that terrible Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, that guy, if I'm Tom Brady, you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, man, some of these young guys, like, I don't know if you've seen that Mahomes guy play or whatever. Those guys are the future.
Mahomes is legit. Right? And I got him in one of my fantasy leagues. He is legit.
Like those guys, like if you're like Tom Brady, like props to him for sticking it out as long as he did. But there's a time when you're just not. He's not even Tom Brady's not even a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. You know, I got Rodgers ahead of him, Mahomes, Goff. A lot of these guys are much better than Brady. Have much better tools. Breeze
is like he's rejuvenated. I don't know how the heck he looks like he's like 25
he's throwing it to
again.
nobody. Yeah, he's throwing it to nobody. He's like he's throwing it to this guy, and I'm like, who?
Is that Mooch in the end zone?
Like, yes, it's Mooch in the end zone.
Holy shit! Look at that. Yes. He's got quite the celebration.
Exactly.
He's yelling at the fans.
Yes. So yeah, you know, it's always good to see and dude, we really appreciate everybody coming out. We had a really good crowd, over 400.
Awesome show today.
Hit the like button, share it out, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna be back. The skits are gonna be back. If you want to support us on Patreon, that's down below. We've got a producer lined up, guys. We've got new artwork coming.
Yes.
Like my thing is a little bit of a teaser for that.
Yep.
All kinds of new stuff coming. It's gonna be it's gonna be back. It's gonna be better than ever. We really need your support. We really appreciate you guys coming out watching the show. You guys seem to really like Sundays. I can say that.
I completely agree, guys. We've got a lot coming up. Crap, I'm excited. We've got our first meeting with our producer this week. We're going forward. We're going to do some test runs. Guys, because everyone's asking in the chat, when do I get to call in again? Hopefully next week. Like Crap said, maybe we'll do a soft rebranding, reopening again next week. If not, it's the week after for sure. But guys, the show's coming back. Football's on in about 1 minute. Thank you, everybody. Hit the subscribe button, folks. Please, let's get Mooch over 9,000 subscribers for the love of God. And I do have my Fallout 76 review coming out this week, so stay tuned. It'll be the first of many. And then I'll also have a Darksiders review. I might as well, right, Crap? Might as well do something out there. Yeah. Get that out there, too. It'll be a lot faster, too. It'll get it out the same week. Guys, enjoy football. Enjoy gaming. We'll see you guys online. And see you next week. Peace.
Yes, later.